lurking amongst this Georgian grandeur is a precious piece of Edwardian England, an enigmatic structure with a fascinating history. And here it is, just look at that. It's perched perfectly on the rise, so it dominates the whole estate. It was built in 1904. It was all the rage at the time, but now it stands defiantly as the oldest remaining building of its kind in the world. It's constructed primarily of wood, and its shape and size is dictated by the measurements of artillery targets. And it was used for a popular recreational pursuit during the Edwardian period. Let's take a look. It's a Sticke court, and Sticke is a form of indoor tennis. It's not unlike the historic real tennis, and it draws its influences from a number of different racket sports that were played during the 19th century. It was popular both here and abroad, right up until the First World War. Now, sadly, the court here at Hartum is only one of two remaining active Sticke courts left in the world. Alan Bosley is the honorary secretary of the club that still play regularly at the court. Alan, what a remarkable court, isn't it? It's a wonderful building. It's very austere, but I like that. It's quite evocative.
I think it's wonderfully Edwardian. It creates that sort of impression that you've been playing this game for the last 100 years.
It's the simplicity of the place. How did you get involved with the sport and this particular building?
Well, this building sits at the back of a business park. And it was the business park that I came to join, leaving London 10 years ago. And to discover this in the grounds of the house was quite extraordinary. And at first you looked through the windows and just sort of mesmerised by what was inside. And eventually found that there were a very small number of players who kept this place going. And I wanted to join.
Okay, so it wasn't run down so much, it was still going, it was being used.
It was still going, but it was in a dreadful state. And a lot of remedial work has been done on the building. The whole roof has been replaced, and over 100 years, and it's a completely wooden structure. It's obviously going to decay, but it's in a fantastic state now.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the game itself.
It goes back to the beginnings of lawn tennis.
Right.
Lawn tennis was originally known as Sticke. That was the name it was patented under in 1874. And the end beat has stuck to this game, so it's now known as Sticke tennis.
Sticke tennis.
From Sticke. Instead of playing on a court, as lawn tennis is, this was enclosed in a box, and it creates a fantastic game.
What about the military?
It started. The very first originators of the game were the military, and it was played at Shoeburyness, which is a gunnery range in Essex, and they built the courts out of artillery targets, 9x9 artillery targets. And played within that.
So that's the footprint for this size court, is it?
It's pretty much the same.
How many are left, do you know?
We know exactly how many are left that are playable.
Right, how many is that?
2 in this country.
2.
1 here at Hartum, and the other at Knightshays in Devon. And there is 1 court that is still playable at somewhere called the Rashtrapati Nivas, which is in Shimla, in the Himalayan foothills.
Do you have to be a good tennis player to actually play on the court?
No. In fact, it's often a disadvantage because it confuses people. You're playing off so many different planes that it's just a very, very different game. And although it helps because you've got the ball, you know, the hand-eye coordination, and you can play with a racket, it's a surprising game. Why don't we show you?
Okay, come on then. Hartum Sticke Court is a fabulous building, a window to a bygone age, and a vivid memory of times past. It was conceived and built by one of the estate's more infamous and colourful owners, a gentleman that delights in the name Sir John Poynder, Dixon Ponder. He was just one of many influential people to build a court on their own estate. as the game was readily adopted by the landed gentry.
Oh, what a great gallery.
At the time, a charming description praises the game for providing a level of pleasant timeness.
Describe the court, the way it's marked out.
Well, there's a serving box,
Yes.
which you can see marked out in front of you there.
This big one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a corresponding serving box at the other end.
Okay.
Every serve has to be served from within that box, but it has to hit the penthouse roof.
Right. And by the penthouse, you mean that 45-degree lean-to?
That's the
So
one.
you've got to serve off of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is quite tricky.
Well, it makes it difficult because the game slows down. The instant that you start hitting that, it slows down.
You've got to wait for the ball to roll and then drop.
Absolutely.
And then hopefully whack it.
Because you're dealing not just with going up and down, you're using the walls as well. The aim is to try to confuse your opponent. It's an evil game played well. Rallies last so much longer.
Do they?
Yes,
Do
you
they?
can
What,
have
10 minutes?
40 shots rally. We haven't reached squash proportions yet, but you can certainly have rallies that go 30 or 40 shots because, of course, it's so much harder to get the ball out
Yes.
of play,
Yes,
and it's
I
coming
imagine.
back to you all the time.
Yeah. And let's have a look at the ball. It's very soft and spongy.
It's a standard size tennis ball, but it is slightly softer than the normal ones.
That's
It's
not a
red and
high
yellow.
impact ball.
That's not a high
You
impact
couldn't
ball.
really whack that hard.
No.
So you're relying on a lot of spin and
Absolutely. We have had one or two people playing with a power ball. The results were disastrous.
bet they were.
Yeah.
And is the membership strong now? Is it picking up more interest? Is it
As more people play the game, as
Yeah.
more people discover it, there are more people who want to play on a regular basis. And one of the things we want to make sure is that this court is well used.
Yeah.
Not just because of its rarity, but it's such a great fun game.
Well, I think this is brilliant, Alan. Thank you so much for introducing me to Sticke tennis. Never heard of it before. I'm pretty sure I'm going to play it. I'm going to be one of your new members.
Look forward to it. It's been
Thanks
a
a lot.
pleasure meeting you and showing you a very rare game.